Welcome to this episode of the Million Dollar Mastermind, where we get real world insights on winning from people who have accomplished amazing things. I'm your host, Larry Weidel, and let's get going. I'm here with Bill Whittle, and we're talking about his new book. And Bill, he's just finished it. And so, Bill, what is the title?
It's real simple. It's Coachable, and very excited about it. I didn't know we were going to talk about that today, but I'm very excited about it. It's more of a workbook.
Do you mind talking about it?
No, absolutely not. It's
Okay.
co-authored by a gentleman out of Canada. Dennis Cuvier is the top author in Canada, written a lot of books, and has been used all across the nation. And he's a doctor of education and stuff up there and been honored across the world. And so he asked me, because we've been associating with each other, we've known each other for a while. And he said, Bill, why don't you do this? I said, because I don't want to make any money off anything besides my business. And he said, no, he said, we'll work with some charities and different things of your choice and donate all the money to this. He said, but I think you got some things to say that could help people. I said, well, I think I do. I said, you know that, Larry, I had a strange experience a year and a half ago where they pronounced me dead. Yeah, that was an experience. So I'm at a gym and it's all on video and being recorded in that gym, and just got off playing golf and had dinner, and we're going to go work out because I had another group coming to my house that night. So you see me in there working out, and I'm this and that. There's only two people. It's a very private gym, very nice gym, but a private gym. So you see me working out and doing some leg press and stuff. And even though I'm a little bit older, I'm still in great physical shape. And so, and all of a sudden you just see my head go sideways and dead. It's called cardiac arrest, sudden death syndrome. It's not a heart attack. It's a cardiac arrest. Everything shuts down. My vital signs were the same as I was in my 30s and 20s and well into my, later on. But everything shut down. All the valves shut down. So it means immediately there's no air, no oxygen goes to your brain. So 5 to 8 minutes, you do any research, 5 to 8 minutes, you're brain dead. Technically, you're a vegetable, even if you're survived. So by the time there's only two guys in the gym. One of them was too young to actually be in there, a 19-year-old kid, 18, whatever it was. But the other kid a 21-year-old knew a good friend of mine, called him and said, Mr. Bill's here. I think there's a major problem. He said, I think it's past that. I think he died. And so the guy said, well, call 911. They did. 911 said, do you know how to do anything? He said, no. I'm sure they're saying, I'm not going to touch this guy because I'm still sitting on the machine. My head's just over there. So anyhow, this was 12 to 15 minutes later. Finally, the EMS gets there. They live right next to the country club where the health club is where I live. They get there. They do all the electrical shock. They put the pump on me. Then they do this thing called the thumper. So now 18, 22 minutes, 26 minutes, 27 minutes, they pronounced me dead again. And they said, okay, they're putting me on the gurney to pull me out. And this young girl, once again, the power of belief, said, no, hit him again. I know the family, they're outside. The guy's medical doctor who's outside wants to come in. COVID was still rampant and raving at that point in time. Finally, they let the doctor in. He said, okay, inject this into his heart, pump him again, hit this thing called a thumper, hit him again and hit him again. But it's that young girl, the power of belief, who was saying, hit him again. Don't let this happen to that family out there. And they go out. I know this family. Don't let this man die. It's too important to this family and this community. Don't let this man die. The EMS specs it, the fire department, all the people there said, okay, but we're not supposed to do this because at best we're bringing back a vegetable. It's not fair to the family to do this. They said, do it again. And almost 30 minutes later, they got a quit. They saw my lip quiver. They saw the first sign of breath, and they took me to the hospital. I was still in a coma. The next day, the medical doctor called my family back, said, we think we made a mistake. We probably shouldn't have done this. At best, he'll be a vegetable forever. But 3 days later, one of the other nurses freaked out because she thought I was strangling to death, jerked a tube out of my neck. My eyes opened up and I was able to answer. And it still took about a month before I was really back at it cognitively. but full recover 100%. My vital signs are now the same as it was way before I had this thing. And it's been, but the Lord said, no, we want that old buzzer to stay on earth and accomplish some things more, so but that's a true story. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it's certified that we're not dealing with a 50% incapacitated Bill Whittle right now.
No, right. Now my wife may say something different, but y'all can use that as an excuse, because my daughter had to drive me around because she was working. She still is working, but she was my chauffeur during that time because 8 or 9, they won't let you drive because you're maybe this, that, and the other. So, but that's been a while, and I've been driving for a long time. I'm 100%. I play golf. I work out every day. My vital signs are literally back like when I was in my 30s. 100%. My heart and fraction is absolute 100% perfect. Everything's perfect. Yeah.
But you had a cancer scare too a while back, didn't you?
Yeah, that was just something minor. They were able to, yeah, that was just something very, very, very minor. No big deal. So this was a big, I was out of there. Okay. I was gone.
Wow. And so from that, you said one of the things that you got your feet back on the ground that made you open to writing the book, you think?
Yeah, and really because I'd had a lot of people ask me to write a book on that, but I think people expect when you come back from something like that or something, okay, you're going to have this big revelation and you're going to look at things different. I don't, Larry. You know me. You've known me for a long time. I don't look at things different. I go wide open. I don't have a second or third gear. I'm wide open. I don't shut down, start up. I don't slack off. That's just not who I am as a human being, because I do my spiritual life the same way. The person I worship didn't go to the grave sitting by a pool sipping a cold one. He went wide open. I may burn out, but I'm not going to rust out. That ain't happening with me. And so I'm going to go wide open. I didn't have to reconsider my priorities in life. I've always had my priorities in life right. I do things simultaneously, not sequentially. I don't do God, family, business. My God, my family, my business is one and the same. I don't separate the three. And so I do the same thing with my life. It didn't take me dying and coming back to life to realize I need to get my priorities straight. I had my priorities straight. I didn't die coming back to life to get me realizing I need to, I don't need to shut it down. I don't need to live more. You can't live and enjoy life more than I live and enjoy life. I burn the candle from both ends because there's a lot of wax in between those wicks, and I'm burning both of them. And the Lord's going to keep giving me all this time and effort and energy to do. And so with this book was really designed as a coaching book to teach people how to be coachable and to really do a self-assessment. So most of it's like a workbook to ask yourself, are you really that coachable? And if not, how are you going to coach other people when you're not even coachable? And so really a lot of exercises in the book, because I told the guy right now, I said, look, I don't want to do this thing like a lecture of my story and all that kind of BS. I think it's some good stuff I've got to deliver people, but I want to be able to use it to when they're done, they're thinking, wow, I can take a mirror, not look in the window, look at everybody else on the outside. I want to look in that mirror and look at me and say, it's what is wrong? What do I need to do? What do I need to change? What do I need to become to make sure I'm the best coach to other people, my kids, my business people, my friends, by being coachable myself and do assessment page after page with explanations and stories in between. So I think it's going to be fun for people to use and apply. It's not going to be just something to entertain you. It's going to be something to maybe develop and train you to become a great coach to other people.
Well, Bill, what is the bigger areas that you feel people are blind, because basically you do a work book to make people aware, train them to be coachable. And so you're trying to make them aware of things they've got a blind side to. And so what you're describing is you might have somebody who thinks he's coachable or she thinks she's coachable. They're looking at you, they're responding to you in a way where they feel like, I'm giving it everything I've got to Whittle. Why is he still on my case?
Right.
But there's a lot of blind spots, and you can't do anything if you're blind to something. And so the purpose of this is to turn the light bulb on in the room. And it's like, see this thing over here? That's what I was talking about,
Right.
And it is amazing, Bill, when you see things, a lot of these things can be fixed pretty quick. Adjustments can be made pretty quick once you have the concept down, or once you, get it clear in your head that this is a stumbling block. I'm being my own worst enemy here. This is not working out to my advantage, having this attitude, treating people this way, And so what are some of the bigger things that you wanted to get at? Like, if they don't get them all, what are some of the biggest things you want people to get on, to wake up to make them coachable?
No, I think that's good. I think because you think about goals, anytime you're trying to coach somebody and you look at the definition of a coach, okay, and you think about the coach, the old stage coach, what was the purpose of the stage coach? Get somebody from where they were to where they said they wanted to go. Okay. Well, that's what coaches do. You take people where they are to where they say they want to go. And then you have to inspire them sometimes to think, hey, you can be that. That once again, the power of belief, you can be that. We just got to teach you how to get there. But then the other thing is the power of change, the concept of change. And most people reject change for whatever reason. It's irrelevant, but that's it's in there in the book about change. But the steps of change, number one, you got to become aware of the fact you need to change. Now that can come from self-awareness, but the fact is most people are either intellectually capable of being self-aware, or they're not mentally mature enough to be self-aware. So we tend to live in fantasy or denial, but not reality. We tend to look at these, what I call these funny mirrors that you get when you go to when they have in different cities, they have these fairs. You go there and you can find any mirror to get yourself, like if you want to be a normal height guy, Larry, like me, 6'6", you could do that being your height. You just have to find that mirror that would distort what you're looking at. That's how people do themselves. They don't want to go find that makeup mirror that shows every blemish, every gray hair, every wrinkle. Nobody wants to see that. They want to find that funny mirror that makes them look a distorted version of how they want to look. That ain't reality. So self-awareness means you're mature enough and intellectual enough to accept that. But then that's the second step. If you can't be self-aware, you better get other people's awareness. Well, if you're not coachable, you're not going to either ask and or accept other people's feedback. So feedback becomes the breakfast of champions, but most people don't like to get up and eat breakfast. Then you're never going to be a champion. So then you think about awareness, then it goes to the next step. Are you willing to accept what you hear? Because a lot of us hear the right things, but the Bible says, don't be hearers of the word, be doers of the word. But if you're not willing to listen and hear with squinted ears, hear what you need to hear, squinted ears, and then apply that. So it's awareness, acceptance, and then the willingness to start applying it with an action plan, and then start taking action steps. You'll never change. And all goals demand change. It's change. It's not optional. Goals demand change. You can't reach a goal staying the way you are. And that's what this book teaches, how to do that. It's only 64 pages because I know the people's attention span is not that long. So I think it's a great workbook that could really help in a lot of different areas to cover a lot of these points we're talking about.
Absolutely fantastic. And so people can look for this to be out when?
And it's being published in May, I think the 27th, 28th. They're going to launch it right here at a big event we're doing. Once again, totally nonprofit. It says on a big disclaimer in there, Bill Whittle will receive no profit.
Unless you're going to divorce her and marry a Kardashian, you're not going to make any money off the book, no matter what.
I know.
So you don't have to worry.
That's just a disclaimer.
You don't have to worry about the disclaimer thing about that, because the reality of it is that may become wildly successful, because you could see that this is something that every coach on every team in major programs where they're serious, or when they're hiring people in a lot of situations. It's it could be. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to get it, and I want you to make sure you let me know.
Absolutely.
Notify our office so we can put it on the call on Monday and put it out on Twitter and social media, because I think it could be a bombshell. And so I'd like you to write a bunch of books, and so
Well, thank you, brother.
hopefully they'll get straight in the political process over there, and where you feel like running for governor again over there. It's real good. But thanks so much for taking the time. That wraps up this episode. Consider leaving a rating and review if you like what you heard. In addition, I have a free video for you, and it contains my best insights from 20 years of running my own business and also coaching $1 million earners. You'll find it at whitellonwinning.com/webinar. Thanks for listening, and do it big.